Hello and welcome on our channel. In today's video, I want to talk about the invisible load of motherhood, and this special edition is on sleep deprivation. So all of you sleep deprivation ladies out there, and fathers too, because no one actually shines a light on how fatherhood can be also exhausting, and it may not be 100% of the load of motherhood, but it is at least 30 to 60, 70% depending on your family arrangements of the exact same issues that a mother survives when she gets young children. So sleep deprivation has some obvious consequences, like having low energy in the next day. But when it comes to sleep deprivation due to parenthood, it is a very prolonged sleep deprivation. So this kind of brings in other issues that may not be obvious. So I've slept for more than 8 hours at least in the last 2 days, and now my no makeup eye circles look exactly like this. So this is fine. This is way too much sleep for my standards. Typically I don't with my kids, especially in the last 2 years, I don't struggle with having short hours to sleep, although most of the time I go to bed around midnight. I often lay in my bed around 9 or 10-ish o'clock, but I don't get to sleep that early because I am scrolling. I need some content, I need some time on my own, and although I'm physically laying there in the dark, I'm whether listening to something or thinking about something, or if I'm happy, if I'm lucky, I go using my phone, which is not recommended, but it is the only time that I can use my phone for an hour or so uninterrupted to catch up with social media, check out the topics that I like to follow, and so on. So basically I go to bed around 12, and sometimes my kids sleep until 7. Today they slept in until 8:15, but sometimes they wake up around 5 or 5:30 because they go to bed on a steady pace from 7 to 9 depending on the season. And basically this means that sometimes I get to sleep like 5 hours or less, because then those 5 hours get interrupted 2 or 3 times because of breastfeeding, because of children speaking in their sleep, because of somebody wanting to change bed, go to mommy, go to their bed, go to the other room, come from the other room, all options. And this kind of makes it even harder to catch up on sleep. So basically low energy is one obvious symptom that everyone will get, even if they get one night or a few nights in a row of sleep deprivation. But when it comes to 4 years of sleep deprivation, and this is the time of my life since I have kids, and I would add to that at least 5 or 6 months of the pregnancy, because I just couldn't sleep through the nights when I was pregnant. So it's almost 5 years of sleep deprivation, and I have a list here of all the things that are actually weighing in when you have such a long period of sleep deprivation. All the symptoms are very related, and I will start with the basic ones, like you need a nap the next day, which is perfectly fine. the thing is, you can't really have a nap when you need it. And if you are not a person that falls asleep very fast, like myself, I can't fall asleep very fast, or I can't just decide to have a nap and lay there and actually have a nap. And there is the other symptom, and that is using stimulants. So basically, people that drink coffee, smoke cigars, eat sugary foods, do everything that gives their body more energy. When we are sleep deprived, we need to take in more of the stimulants of choice. And in my case, I drink a lot of coffee. I used to drink like 2 or 3 cups of coffee every day before having kids, and now that number has moved to at least 5 coffees a day. And I don't drink, I drink very strong espresso recently, so it's like 5-6 strong espressos during the day. So when I have in the morning my intake of 3-4 cups of espresso, I can't really go and decide to nap on, in 12 or in 3 o'clock in the afternoon, just because I'm already so caffeinated that I can run a marathon, and I need that amount of energy to make sure that I will not break down till the end of the day, because it is just so tiring. So basically, needing a nap is not a problem if you can have a nap, but taking a nap might be a problem if you have other coping mechanisms for being tired during your regular day. Another thing is, so basically, yes, low energy and needing a nap kind of impact your mood and your thought process. So after a period of time, whether it's few days, few weeks, few months, few years, depending on what you're experiencing, you will start forgetting things or feeling like you're having brain fog. So in my case, it has just worsened over time. So I get to go to a room, and when I enter the room, I forget why I was here, and I need to ask myself, what are you looking for now, to be able to recall what I'm looking for. And this can sound very crazy, because I'm like talking to someone and saying, okay, I'll just go grab a glass of water, and I come in the kitchen and I'm like, what are you looking for now? Oh, I'm looking for a glass of water. And then I go and pick up my glass of water. So basically, this is what happens when you have brain fog and keep on forgetting things due to sleep deprivation. The impacts on mood are also very, very present. So you can't really enjoy regular moods, like you can't really feel bored because you're bored and tired. You can't really feel overwhelmed because you don't have energy to feel overwhelmed. You don't you get to be really excited about something because I'm very cheerful or excited, but I'd rather not, because this is kind of me having rest is kind of more urgent than actually enjoying things. And this kind of sets a gray filter over your emotions in a longer period of time. So not being able to fully live through your emotions, whether it's sadness or anger or happiness or joy or anything, kind of, it is like eating washed food. You can't really actually taste the flavor that it is the flavor of the food, because it has been washed off by constant tiredness. So basically, this gives kind of a bland mood throughout a longer period of time. So on a daily basis it can feel like that, but in a longer periods of time it can feel like bored by everything, rather not to do anything. So it kind of leads gives a preview of depression and that kind of states of mind. One thing that was very common for me in the beginning was resentment towards the partner or the kids or any other person that is able to take rest. So this means, I really hate about my husband that he can decide to go to sleep. So what he does is, okay, we put the kids to bed and he says, okay, I'll have a nap. And he goes, it's 9 o'clock, he goes in bed, sleeps. If he decides to get up, he gets up, does whatever he wants in the evening, and then he goes back to bed and he can sleep again. And I can't do that, and I hate him for it. I'm very very jealous of that. So basically, stay-at-home parents can feel resentment, and it's valid and it's real and it needs to be communicated, because you don't need to seek logic behind your feelings. You just feel like you hate that person because they keep on getting what you can't really get for yourself and you need it so much. So it's like being on a diet, and having the other person next to you constantly eating cakes and fizzy drinks and all of that you can't have. So it's valid that you kind of hate them. It doesn't mean that they need to be starving like yourself or sleep deprived like yourself. It doesn't mean anything about that. It's just a valid feeling and we should validate that though. Another thing is that you still have to have your life. You still have to go through life. So next day, you still have to wake up. You still have to show up for your kids, show up for your colleagues, show up for work, show up for your family, show up everywhere. And there's no break in the roles. And if you take a break and spend a day on a survival mode, like doing just the essential, keeping everyone fed and safe, and that's fine, you can't really live your life on a survival mode, because it will just get really more dull and dull and dull, and you might keep on feeling guilty about it, or even if you're not feeling guilty, you may not be very happy just surviving through life for years, right? So basically, having to do life with sleep deprivation might be way more challenging than it sounds or than you might feel in the beginning. So it is a constant struggle. One thing is that you can really start to lose interest in whatever brought you joy. So you may want to drop off hanging out or seeing with other people just because it's too tiring. You would rather not sleep but do something less demanding. Or you would rather eat something that is not your favorite food but easier to prepare. Or you may just want to lay in bed and not have sex with your partner because it's just too tiring. You become, you start becoming, being not in the mood for any of the activities that may require a bit more energy but bring you much more joy than. That becomes a priority when you make your choices, and it can bring you to a lonely place. So basically what can happen is that you can get lonelier and lonelier because of making such choices, not necessarily putting pressure on you to do everything that you don't feel like, but have in mind that over time this kind of accumulates and it gets life gets blunter than it is. Yeah. So basically, another thing when it comes to moods and socialization is just being easily triggered by everything, because basically you have a need that is not met, a need that is like a very urgent, just like eating, just like going to the loo, just like breathing, everything else. So sleeping is basically a daily need for everyone, and being sleep deprived can really put your boundaries to a very low level of tolerance. So basically, you can't tolerate anything. You can't tolerate noise, you can't tolerate touch, you can't tolerate just people not complying. You say, when everything's fine, when you're fed, you're rested, and all of that, all of your basic needs are met, then you can ask a person, especially if it's your child and you're sleep deprived because of them, you can ask them, like, would you do this, or can you stop playing on the piano, my head is burning, and they say no, and you're like, okay, let's try and do this thing, and they're like, no, da 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 da. And you're like, okay, can you please, and then you explain why, or you say no, or whatever are your techniques to, not react or overreact over such an issue. And when you're sleep deprived, and when you're especially if there's another of your needs that is unmet at the same time, what you get is, you say, stop playing the piano. They say no, and you go, stop playing the piano, and you take the piano away, or whatever else. And that is just, no filter, direct trigger reaction, which is not good for yourself, not good for your mood, not good for the person enduring that. And if it becomes a daily thing, it is actually abuse. So basically, sleep deprivation can ultimately turn you away from the parent or the partner that you want to be, and sink you into being an abuser, which is not a good place to be. So basically, I don't have a solution that is more than day-to-day struggle to get some more naps. In another video, I will tell you all about the methods I've tried to get more naps and more quality sleeping. But I must tell you and warn you that all of these are just short-term solutions. So for a longer term, you may want to combine different methods. And the good news is that although they are all short-term solutions, just having 3 or 5 or 7 days of very nice sleep can actually alter your life in a way that it hasn't been altered for a while. So they still work and they're still beneficial. So show up for the next video on our channel, and don't forget to subscribe. Bye bye!